Hello and welcome to AUC Weekly News Bulletin. I am Inji Abdel Nasser and today we will be having reports covering the Student Union Real Life Competition, the 5th Sector Tournaments, and the AUC Centennial event. Starting off with the Student Union Real Life Competition, Egyptian Minister of Education and Technical Education Tariq Shawqi praised AUC student efforts to improve the national education system during the closing ceremony of the Student Union Real Life Competition. It took place at Al-Mu'taz Al-Alfi Hall on February 4th. The competition, which was organized by SU members Inji Ibrahim and Jana Boughali in the cooperation with the Minister of Education, focused on finding viable solutions to systematic problems in Egypt's education system. Known as Madrastak, it allows parents to participate in the educational development of their children by having the same access as the students. The minister praised both groups for their remarkable efforts in trying to develop ideas towards resolving education issues in Egypt.
This competition allowed students to proactively engage in a meaningful and constructive project based on real-life socio-economic issues faced by Egypt. Student activities such as this one are crucial to the success of AUC and Egypt. Through these activities, students develop an understanding of current issues and are inspired to seek and create durable, versatile solutions. I'm confident that these students will use what they learn during the competition to work towards a better Egypt.
The winning team comprised of students from the School of Sciences and Engineering Nuruddin Tahawi, Marwan Sayed, Yahya Al-Kurma, Asir Hangel, and business student Muhammad Abdel Hamid designed an online education platform to serve teachers, students, and parents. AUC Provost Ehab Abdurrahman and Vice President for Student Life Dina Burai celebrated the success of the top two teams and Shawqi's attendance along with members of AUC's communities. Moving on to our next topic, the 5th Sector Tournaments. AUC's athletic teams are getting prepared to start the 5th Sector's tournaments. The tournaments take place annually from February 13th to March 5th among all universities in Egypt. In November, AUC's teams participated in two major events locally where the teams advanced to the finals, and internationally where AUC won 5th place among 8 universities. All of AUC's teams, including basketball, volleyball, soccer, water polo, swimming, and handball, are expected to participate.
إن شاء الله عندنا هنلعب الماتش المتأجل بقاله كام شهر. احنا لسه واخدين مركز اول في ساكترز ولسه واخدين مركز اول في اسطنبول، واحنا دلوقتي بنلعب بطولة الجمهورية. والماتش ده ان شاء الله احنا عمرنا ما لعبنا الفرقة، بس هي بيقولوا عليها فرقة جامدة. ان شاء الله هنكسبه. مفروض بإذن الله الماتش ده هو بيحدد برضو تصعيد ولا لأ، فبإذن الله يعني هو ماتش مهم.
AUC Athletics Department sent out an email including the timings of each tournament and invited everyone to come and cheer to the teams on field. Last Monday, many went to cheer for the handball girls team where they had a draw and qualified for the next tournament. One of the rare occasions that the university is celebrating is the AUC Centennial, which was conducted in AUC Tahrir campus. On Saturday, February 9th, AUC celebrated its centennial at the AUC Tahrir campus in Egypt. The celebration started from 1:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. and many public figures attended the event, like Lamis Al-Hadidi, Naguib Sawiras, Hisham Abbas, Mahmoud Raseli, and many more AUC alumni along with the undergraduate students.
Really a week ago, we graduated into the world, the first cohort of our Centennial 2019 class.
The celebration was rich with many events. Mahmoud Al-Raseli performed along with Hisham Abbas and other singers. Moreover, to bring memories back, AUC Alumni Folklore Group, which was established in 1986, continued to perform in folklore festivals all around the globe and currently in AUC Centennial celebrations. As a part of the Centennial celebrations, AUC captured few AUC alumni success stories around the world. Moving on to our interview, our guest today is Dalia Amar, an AUC alumni and former president of Entrepreneurs Society. and welcome to AUCTV. This is Inji Abdel Nasser, and today we have Dalia Amar, an AUC alumni and former president of Entrepreneur Society. Dalia is a young entrepreneur who managed to succeed a lot in a little time. Hello, Dalia.
Hi, Angie. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you. Tell us about yourself. We already know that you were the ex-president of Entrepreneur Society and you worked in the Rise Up Summit for a while and you moved on to Founders Media. So can you tell us more about yourself?
Well, that's a really nice summary. Maybe I'll go back to when I started at AUC. I came in 2013 and I was actually studying business marketing. So it was kind of related to like, working in a startup, but it wasn't really like specific. And that's when I joined Entrepreneur Society because like many people in AUC, I was like trying to find something that I was passionate about. So I joined Entrepreneur Society and it made me really interested in everything to do with startups, which is how I kind of managed to join Rise Up Summit. I was entering my junior year at AUC and they asked me to stay and be a marketing manager there, which was really weird because I'm sure you know, like if you don't have a degree, you feel like you can't really work. But I managed to do it somehow. I don't really have a secret recipe, so I can't tell you what to do. But I was coming to university 2 to 3 times a week and then working 2 to 3 times a week and on weekends and stuff. Until I did that for 2 years, and then I became the summit manager right after I graduated in fall 2016. And I was the Rise Up Summit manager for 2017, which was the most successful year we had as a team because we sold out the event. We had over 5,000 people there. And just like for the first time, Egypt was really put on the map. So as you can see, like I'm kind of summarizing, but all of that experience led me to what I'm doing now, which is covering stories all over the Middle East about like these really cool people that I met.
On average, how many hours do you work?
So you're gonna realize really soon when you graduate that 9 to 5 is a lie. You don't really ever start at 9 and you never finish at 5 unless you work for like a really corporate structure. So work hours are really flexible, so you kind of need to be flexible. I would say that some days I can work maybe 16, 18 hours, and some days I can work just for a few hours. You kind of manage what you do with whatever fields you're in, but in a startup, because there's so much to do, you have to be flexible.
Yes, so we heard that you moved to Founders Media, so can you tell us more about it?
Founders Media is an independent media company. We cover stories about people and culture and businesses shaping the future of the Middle East. So in like normal talk, we basically do 2 projects. One, we're working on a really cool TV show that's going to be across the Middle East. It's inspired by Shark Tank, if anyone has watched it. So we're getting a lot of startups and we're having them pitch to investors, and the investors get to fight to see who invests in the startup. And the other thing that we're working on, which is much bigger, is creating original video content for social media under a platform. So we are doing bite-sized videos and mini documentaries and features about all these really cool stories across the Middle East. Since you are very well aware of the media scene, the narrative of the Middle East isn't written by Arabs, it's written for them. So whenever you meet anyone around the world, they're going to kind of tell you who you are without you introducing yourself, because they have this stereotype of where you live and how you live. So we're trying to change that, and that's really what we do at Founders Media.
What was a major moment for you at Founders Media?
So we're working right now on launching. So we've been interviewing a lot of people across like different countries. I think one of the major moments was I was interviewing someone with the team, and after we finished, the guy, he's a founder of a startup. He kind of paused and just said, I feel like for the first time I got to tell my story, because when I did other interviews in the past, the interviewer was always telling me what to say, and this time I feel like you guys are really telling our story through our voice. And that for me kind of gave us a push that we're doing something right. So that was really a moment of clarity.
Okay, can you describe entrepreneurship in Egypt?
Okay, so that's a very hard question because people think entrepreneurship is an industry, but it's everything. So any company that you can think of in the world started off somewhere to become what it is today. And actually, I was reading an article this morning about how Egypt became the fastest growing country to have startups. So entrepreneurship in Egypt is any industry that you can think of, people that see opportunities because there are, as you know, so many gaps in our society. So they can solve those problems and they launch ideas that help us live better. And that's really how I would describe it.
What traits does an individual have to become an entrepreneur, and are those traits developed over time or they can be acquired? Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, so I personally come from a school of thought that doesn't believe you can teach entrepreneurship. You kind of have to do it. So it comes through practice. So what I mean by that is you can sit someone down in a classroom and explain what it means to take a risk, or you can have them go out there and take risks so they internalize that, ability. So I would say some of the traits that are really important is being extremely flexible, being resourceful, because when you start, you're barely going to have anything. So you need to know what to do with whatever you have. Having a risk appetite, which is a really fancy way of saying just do it and see what happens. And then the last thing is just being able to present well, because you have to carry yourself and you have to present your company everywhere.
Okay, so we know that if anyone wants to become an entrepreneur, they face a lot of challenges. Did you ever face any of those challenges? And can you tell us about it?
So I think if you're not facing challenges, then you're doing something wrong, because you will every single day face something new. I personally believe that if you see things as challenges, that's really when they become a problem. But if you see them as like opportunities to learn, as cliche as it sounds, that's really how you can overcome them. So whether it's challenges to do with how we think as a society. So for example, when I was at Rise Up, I was really young. I'm still young, I'm only 24. But it was really hard for me to walk into a room and meet a CMO of a bank or of, a big company as a 21, 22-year-old person trying to get them to sponsor our event. So all of these different things you're always going to face. Taban, there's like so many regulations and laws that you have to know. There are financial problems that you're going to face. Every day we have a challenge in our economy. But all of them really teach you something different. So when people doubted my age, I had to really present myself better. So they would never look at me as just a number, And if someone is like telling you you don't have money, you're not going to succeed, you have to think of creative ways how to raise money. So it's just really how you like take on life.
Yes. Lastly, we would like to ask you if you could say something to your past self, what would you say?
That's a really tough question. So I would say that like everything happens for a reason. I think anyone who knows me would know that AUC wasn't my destination in life, not because of anything, but because I came from a world where I just was super ambitious and thought I could like go anywhere I wanted to. But actually coming to AUC is why I'm sitting with you here today. And then even with Rise Up, I wanted to leave Egypt and work in Dubai and work in whatever, Silicon Valley, like everyone else dreams of, leaving as soon as they graduate. But staying in Egypt led me to Founders Media. So everything in your life is there for a reason, and you just have to be more, I guess, like grateful and like in the moment. That's what I would tell myself.
Entrepreneurship is a key component of economic growth in Egypt. In fact, if paid attention to, can make a difference and open up doors of opportunities. Thank you, Dalia, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. That was all for today. Stay tuned next week for more information from the AUCTV.